Hi, I'm Mike Hughes, and today we're going to be talking about stall vices, how to solve stall vices, and what causes stall vices. About 9 years ago, I got into solving stall vices when a friend of mine, he had a cribbing horse, and his horse ultimately died from colic brought on by cribbing. So at that time is when I knew I really wanted to get into solving stall vices, and I started with the first one, which was horse cribbing, which you can find those DVDs and more information about crib free at www.cribfree.com, and there's a hyphen between crib and free. So about 9 years ago, I got into stall vices and really always knew there was a way to solve the stall vices if I knew how to put enough steps in it. And it took me about 7 years to solve the first one, which was horse cribbing. And after we had that one solved, then we immediately went into stall walking and weaving. And since we're going to be talking about stall walking and weaving today, and that is what we're going to show you how to solve in your horses. What weaving is weaving is when a horse just rocks back and forth, and they mainly keep their front feet still, or they'll pick them up a little bit, but they'll be weaving back and forth. And for those who have been around horses, I'm sure you know what weaving is. Weaving and stall walking are two totally different problems, but they're really similar to each other. So you solve one, and you're going to solve the other one. Stall walking is going to be the horse. He's just going to be going back and forth in the stall, just walking back and forth by the stall door and up and down the stall. So those are the two ones that we're going to solve today. Now, there's a certain amount of horses out there, or a certain percentage of horses out there today that do not know how to handle stress. When they don't know how to handle stress, that's what brings on these stall vices. So in this video today that we're going to show you how to teach your horse how to manage stress. Now, stress is an emotional or physical way in which the horse responds to pressure from the outside world, also known as fight or flight instinct. And we all know about that in the horse. They'll either face their danger or they'll flee from their danger. And since horses are flight animals, 99% of the time they're going to flee from the danger unless they get cornered and they have to fight their way out. There's been a couple of times we've seen on YouTube and videos and where a horse or a mule has actually killed a mountain lion up in the mountains because the horse got cornered and wasn't able to get away. So if they have to, they will fight, but the natural instinct of the horse is to flee danger and get away from danger. When a horse gets stressed, there's an adrenal gland, and the adrenal gland releases a hormone called cortisol. When cortisol is released into the horse, it's, a little bit of it's a good thing because it will give the horse a chance to, the extra energy to get away from their danger. It also speeds up soft tissue damage. It's an anti-inflammatory, and it also helps keep the immune system production under control. So a little bit of that is really good for the horse, and it's good for people. But too much cortisol, which the horse doesn't know how to, the horses that don't know how to handle stress, it makes the immune system go downhill, so the horse has a chance of getting sick easier. It also affects their digestive system, along with the other things. So, too much of it isn't really good for the horse, and it's really bad for the horse, and also causes heart disease along with affecting the horse's blood vessels. So we need to teach these horses how to control the stress or manage stress. Managing stress means the horse knows how to maintain control when situations, people, and events make excessive demands on them. And we're going to show you how to do this today through putting pressure on the horse, which will cause stress, through spook training, sacking out, and we're also going to show you how to solve the buddy and barn sour problems in horses. Buddy and barn sour problems puts an extreme amount of stress on the horse because horses are herd animals. So when the horse's buddy or other horses run ahead, the horse that I'm on or the horse you're on wants to catch up. And if you don't let them catch up, then they get all upset, and and the stress is on. So we're going to show you how to solve buddy and barn sour problems today too, along with other exercises. Some of the exercises I'm going to show you today are my methods that I use when I train for the Sacramento Mounted Police Association. I do a lot of training for them on their police horses, so their police horses can go out to the streets and perform their job in a safe manner. Other things that cause stress, and I hear it all the time, and they go, Mike, my horse isn't stressed, he's just bored. Well, boredom does cause a lot of stress. If you don't think so, go lock yourself in your room for 3 or 4 days with nothing to do, and I guarantee you by the time you come out of that room on the 3rd or 4th day, you're going to be pretty stressed out. I mean, because, like horses, people were made to move around, exercise, whatnot, and if you can't do that, then it's going to start building a lot of stress. I'm going to ask Spin to drop his head, and then I'm just going to start very lightly rubbing the tarp on his body. So if I drop his head, I know he's going to be relaxed. I know he's going to relax, and that will allow me to start, sacking spin out with the tarp a little bit, and like this, and I'm just gonna rub it all over his body. And we continue asking him to drop his head down. Good boy, drop your head spin. Good. We do a lot of this with the Sacramento Mounted Police. Their horses, because their horses have to be used to, all this kind of stuff hitting them. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to solve these problems, stall vices, using the horse's natural instinct through the 5 senses horses already have, which is sight, sound, feel, smell, and taste. All horses have those senses, and so right now what we're covering is Spin can definitely see the tarp, and he could definitely feel the tarp. And as the tarp, hits him a little bit, or bounces against him, there's a little bit of a noise there. So we're already starting to cover 3 of the horse's senses, which is sight, sound, and feel. So we're just gonna sack him out on this side a little bit, then we'll go on to the next exercise. Yep. So with Spin trying to walk forward like this, I'm gonna ask him to drop his head, put pressure there, and I'm gonna go back to work on sacking him out. There we go. Good boy. If they're still getting nervous while you're doing this, you wouldn't want to go on to the next exercise. You'd want to stay at this one for as long as it takes. It could take you a couple hours, it could take you a week, it could take you a couple weeks, but you stay with it as long as it takes to get the horse through it. Good morning. You always want to let the horse, let you know that he learned something that day. And in this type of training, you learned something when he's calmer after the lesson is over with. We really don't get a chance to pick the times that it takes for the horses to get through these exercises, that day or week or month, but we just keep working them until the horse comes through them. So don't ever put a time limit on a horse. Don't ever let somebody con you in, to going further with the horse, or saying it has to be done in a certain amount of time, or since you started working on trailer loading today or going across the creek, that the horse has to get in the trailer or go across that creek that day. That'll get you hurt just as much as anything else. Well, good. So we're gonna go ahead and stop Spin here, ho, and we're gonna go ahead and go to the right. There we go. Good. So Spin's doing really good with this exercise right now, and here in a minute, we're gonna go on to a couple other exercises. Good. I like that it's kind of windy out today. I like that the tarp is flying up in the air a little bit. Again, it's sight, sound only, because the tarp, when it flaps, it is making a noise, and he can hear that. And he definitely can see it.